Today, I bought the LEGO Star Wars UMBARAN Mobile Heavy Cannon. This set 75013 is a Clone Wars set from the year 2013, coming with 493 pieces, retailing back in the day for $50. Now in today's money, that would be about a $60 set. This comes with 4 figures and is quite an interesting Clone Wars set based off of one of the most famous arcs, the Battle of Umbara. And in this set, we get our first ever UMBARAN troopers, as well as, technically speaking, our first ever 212th Trooper, which is partially why this set was such a big deal back in the day and why people tried army building it so much, because they wanted more of those coveted 212th Troopers, which we had yet to get in LEGO Star Wars. Crazy to think about, right? And of course you did get Ahsoka and some UMBARANs. Overall, a very nice set, but it does have some problems, and we are going to get into those in my final thoughts section. But with that said, I'm going to ask you all to hit that subscribe button, check out all the chapters down below so you know what area of the video you want to watch. With that said, we're going to get right down into it. So first up, here is a look at the box art. It is centered heavily on the planet of Umbara. You do see the whole pathway the 501st took here. And there is our weird figure selection with Ahsoka and the 212th Trooper. We also have Yoda up top in the corner with the green LEGO Star Wars logo. And I will say, this is one of the most cluttered back box printing as I've ever seen. Like, it's just, there's so many little boxes. You have little looks from all the different angles of the walker. You have some looks of the set in action. And you have some more play feature looks, which is really cool. And then obviously on the sides, we do have all of the details. And, you know, you have the little box design. And of course, my favorite, the side box art, which honestly on this set is really kind of lame. Now, when you open up sets like this, it's very nice. They're taped and not little push tabs, which is very nice. And then you open it up, and you have all the different bags, and of course, the instruction manual. Alright, so here is the instruction manual. Obviously, it comes in 3 separate parts. You look on the back, you have the Win Kid. You look here, you have a look at all the sets from 2013. And it is overall just a great instruction manual. Now we are going to get into a full hyperlapse build, and then if you want to skip that, you can go take a look at the minifigures too. But in the meantime, with that said, let's get into it. So our first minifigure up is Ahsoka, and I will just say off the bat, the figure selection in this set was not very good, and I'll discuss that a bit towards the end in my final thoughts section. In the meantime, the figure itself is a nice figure. You know, you have loads of just amazing details on this character, iconic from the Clone Wars. You do have your Montrals, which are very nice. You do get the 2 green lightsabers, and then you also, of course, do get the back printing, which is done very well in my personal opinion. And then you can take this off, and she comes with more of an angry face. Obviously, the Clone Wars faces, not great. Same standard here, they're not great, really not. But overall, it is still a very cool minifigure, and I think it is a really nice one. Next up, we have the heavily contested 212th Trooper, and the reason this one is a contested minifigure, because a lot of people think it's 327th because of how yellow it is. I think, honestly, for the Clone Wars show style of 212 Troopers, this is kind of fitting. It's a little bit off-colored. It's a nice trooper, 2013 style, obviously. You get the back printing and everything. It's just kind of alright. I'm not one of those overly critical people about these things. You know, you get a weird clone face, and that is pretty much it in regards to your 212th Trooper. Now here's your UMBARAN, and we actually do get 2 of these particular characters. As for the details on these guys, again, not super exciting. You do get the legs, which are not printed, and then you, of course, do get the torso, which is one of the few exclusive things about it, alongside the face print, of course. I'm not even sure the helmets are exclusive, I'll be 100% honest. You get the nice back printing, And then you do get the helmets, which are supposed to contain the little gas. Honestly, the fact that they weren't like green is kind of disappointing because I'm pretty sure they were green in the show. So that is mildly disappointing. Now with that said, I think we're going to take a full look at the tank, and it is a really fun build. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the UMBARAN Mobile Heavy Cannon. This is obviously based off of the Clone Wars Season 4. We have loads of details I'd like to get into, and I think we'll start off, actually, this time with the interior. I'll say right off the bat, this thing does have one of the best play features of all time. First off, you will notice where this bubble is. You can very simply open that up, and you can open this piece up as well. And then you have a nice seating area for an UMBARAN to sit. There are no studs to place them in, but there are stickers on one of the pieces, in the back at least. Now, moving here, you just sit him down, and you could close it up, and you do have a look at him. He is looking through the bubble, and it is very nice. You just have to take out the blasters out of his hands, and it is really quite a simple feature design process right here. In fact, in the back you do have a handle, so you could pull on this, and it's very similar, but this time you actually have stickers. You'll notice they are very minor, nothing super special. I believe they might have been supposed to go in the front, but I might have screwed that up a little bit. Either way, you can load him up in here too. It is very nice and simple. You just load it up, and then you have to lower this top one too. And it is very nice. They just fit in. You wouldn't even know they were in there other than looking through the bubble. It's great. Now, as for the legs, these were a very repetitive design. You had to build these effectively 6 times. And they do, have limited mobility. This piece cannot move at all. So you can, do this, and you can really, mess around with it a little bit. But these are the only parts that you can really mess around with. These legs are all stable. And then just looking around at it, it is just a very nicely designed legs. They're a little weird. And, as for the detailing, that's, of course, all very nice. You do, of course, get the side stickering, which I think they did a good job with. Technically speaking, these are supposed to be separated, but I wanted to connect them a little more. I thought it looked overall better when you do it that way. You also do have the separatist stickering. You have little windows here. And then down at the bottom, you even have little blasters to show all the little guns on the side. And then, just if you want a better look at the feet, there they all are. Now, this is, of course, a mobile heavy cannon, and a part of that is its full maneuverability. So first off, we will show you down here. You can connect the legs, so you move them all in. You can move them all around like this again. You can connect them all. It's really a great process for the legs in that regard. But there is this little thing here, and like that actually rotates the way the cannon moves. So if you want to spin it, you can spin it, and it really kind of works that way, and it's really great. Woo! Look at that. That's kind of fun almost. I really do enjoy it. Now, in terms of actual maneuverability, and before I show you the insane firepower and accuracy of this thing, I want to show you how high it could go. It could go about this high. It could, again, spin around any angle you want. So if you want to aim down, you can. Honestly, this is probably the least best looking way of doing it. I think the best way of doing it is probably like this, where you have it like this. You can aim down, you can aim pretty much anywhere. If the closer you want to get to your actual vehicle, the higher you're going to have to go. But, the further you do it like this, you can take them out from a little bit of a distance, and practically, this is all you're going to need. It is just a nice design. You do have the stickers here, and you do have some minor detailing up top. But overall, one of my favorite features is this giant dude right here. So over here, we have the cannon, and to represent our little enemy, we're going to have our little 212 trooper there. And basically, the way this is going to work is I am going to want to angle it properly, and I am basically going to pull back. And like that, it literally shot him into a bucket over there. Look at that, I'm not even joking, it just got shot in there. And the reload process is very simple. You just have to load it back in, and it fits just fine. Now, say we take aim at a more long-distance target over here. We are going to properly aim it, and we are going to fire, and miss, fire, and we hit her. Now, keep in mind, over here was supposed to be the counterpart set, the set that was supposed to fight it, alongside another one, which I don't have, which is the Z95. I have Krell here, so it was supposed to come with him, too, in, the little UMBARAN wave of sets. And overall, they did a pretty terrible job nailing down the figures in these. It's not necessarily the figures themselves. They all look pretty good. Krell looks good. He was actually dead on. The 501st Trooper's fine. But in terms of actual, figures, why is Ahsoka and a 212th Trooper here? Why is Yoda here? Now we're going to get into my full and final thoughts on this set. With that said, let's get into it. So this set was a great set at the time. It was the first ever 212th Trooper. You got a really nice build based off of a really awesome Clone Wars arc. So what is the problem with it? And this is more of a retrospect problem. And I think if this set was to come out today, people would be much more critical of it. That is for the figure selection, and the Final First ATRT is the same problem. So these are primarily based around the Umbara arc. Obviously a very popular arc with lots of 501st Troopers. Ahsoka famously was not in the Umbara arc, minus a little brief cameo at the very beginning opening sequence. She was not on Umbara at any point. The 212th was, so I think there's a little more of a justification there for that. But if you had to throw in a Jedi, why couldn't you have thrown in Anakin? Why couldn't you have thrown in Obi-Wan, who we at least know was on Umbara, and there's a 212th Trooper here. Now, practically speaking, this set should have had a 501st character of some sort. It should have had a Phase 2 Rex, which, yes, we did get in a speeder that same year, but he should have come in the Umbara sets. He came in this random set with Obi-Wan, which was a little weird, and I guess they wanted to give him his own kind of exclusive, like, premium set, and not, relegate him to a $50 set with another trooper or whatever. Fine. You could have thrown in 5s. You could have thrown in loads of other troopers from that arc, main characters from that arc. But you didn't. So that's kind of why I have to be a little critical. Like, Ahsoka should not be in here. That was a really weird selection. Same thing with Yoda in the ATRT. He should not be there. The Commando Droid should not be there. That should be Umbarans and Anakin or someone. It shouldn't be these characters. I don't know why they decided to throw him in. Maybe they just wanted to throw him in extra sets. Ahsoka was a very common figure, though. I don't know why they felt the need to throw her in the Umbaran Mobile Heavy Cannon, unless there's some sort of concept art or something when they designed this before the episodes came out. I don't know what happened, but as for the build itself, this is one of the most jam-packed play feature builds of all time, and I love it. I love the cannon feature. It's amazing. The legs are super fun. Repetitive build, absolutely. An entire bag of those was very kind of annoying, and you got really bored of it after, like, leg 3. So that was, that kind of goes without saying, though. That's bound to happen. Overall, a super, super fun build. Again, the first ever 212th Trooper. So I'm going to have to give this set a solid 8.5 out of 10. $50 back in the day was probably a little much for it, I'll be 100% honest. But it is still cool nonetheless, and I think it's worthy of at least that. So either way, with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars review. I will see you all in the next one. Remember to peace out and stay awesome. Wait. I can't believe you guys were just about to click off this video without liking it. What's the deal? Why did you do that? Don't do that. Click that like button. I'm still waiting. Okay, you can go now.